Anyhow, boy, this is sure an exciting event for us, and we appreciate everybody taking the time to come out and support us with this groundbreaking that we have. You know, I had a hat that I was going to put on, but every time I put it on, with this jacket, my kids always say I need to say something like, "Aye, Captain." So I'm bearing the cold head and trying to keep a little bit of a report. But again, I'd like to welcome everyone out. With that, I'd like to extend a special welcome from James Dixon, who's come down from the Governor's Office of Economic Development to be with us today. Also from EDC Utah, a special welcome to Brad Baird and Becca Haney for coming down from Salt Lake also. And of course, our wonderful Mayor Wilson for being with us and participating, and Paul Bittman, our city manager, and other elected officials and officials from the city and county that are here with us, and as well people from the university and from the Shakespeare Festival. We're pleased and honored to have you here with us today. Also, I'd like to recognize, and if they please stand, are my parents, Doran and Sharon Danzy. They've been a big part of my life. There's a small secret. They're coming up on their 60th year wedding anniversary this next year, so congratulations to them on that. Again, I'd like to welcome everybody out. We can come in from that back room. There's room. We can kind of fill in a little bit here. To everybody coming out, especially on this kind of frigid morning, to support us on this ceremony. My fingers are so cold I can't turn the page. Before we get started, I wanted to issue some thank yous. One to Chris McCormick from the Chamber of Commerce. He's helped us get some physical facilities and things like that here to make it work. And we've been a member of the Chamber as long as we've been in business in Cedar, and we believe strongly in the Chamber and what it does for small businesses and the community. And we thank Chris and for the whole Chamber staff and for the help in which they've We'd also like to extend a welcome or thank you to Metalcraft. They've been friends of ours for years. In fact, when I very first went to start my business, David Grant pulled me aside, and he was kind of a mentor and kind of helped me understand what it means to read a financial statement and go through and look at trends with the businesses and so forth. And as well as that help 20 years ago, they also provided help in helping us organize this and helping us with the tables and the chairs and things like that. So I appreciate Metalcraft and their help and the things that they've offered in helping us put this event together as well. Also, Justin Stein, our architect. Is Justin? I saw you earlier. Oh, Justin right here. He's our architect, and he's done a fantastic job, and I recommend him to anyone that's looking on having any type of architectural work done. Not only is he very creative and innovative, he's patient. He works with us creative ADD people who are running around with ideas and constantly throwing them out. He's done a great job at taking the vision that we wanted to have and taking that and implementing it into fabric, into something that we can actually build and use. I'd also like to extend thanks to Danny Stewart from the Cedar City Economic Development and all the help that he's given us right from the beginning. It was late winter, I think, when we first started this project. And again, he helped us get things organized and some of the facilities and that which we've needed and help us put this event together. I'd like to extend a thanks to all of my co-workers at Rainbow. A lot of people have put a lot of time in as far as design and putting things together. You know, you can't imagine what this floor used to look like. And they all came down and volunteered and were sweeping and kind of cleaning things up to where we could have this event. To our marketing department, they've done a fabulous job of getting marketing materials on it. They've worked it out for a number of months. Thank you, Katie, Kona, Chartice, and Shana for the effort which you put forth in those areas. We had people here at the last minute, even yesterday, gathering and trying to get some warmth in here and heat some of this brick and that up. We had one of our little torpedo heaters melt down on us, and And so they've been working with some challenges. I know Andrew's been working late into the midnight hours and back over here at 5 o'clock again in the morning to get things going. And so I want to extend a thank you to all of our people that we work with for your efforts. I know you've gone above and beyond what you've been asked to do, coming out here from time to time and putting things together. And then I wanted to extend a special welcome to my daughter Tania, standing right over here. You know, over a year ago we talked about what we wanted to do, and she's been the vision and the inspiration on finding the right facility and finding the right look. We were down looking at the auction building. We were looking at certain places all over town, and she says there's a look. We want to restore something. We want to do something great. So when we found this building, or when she found this building and got me excited about it, and Shelley excited about it, kind of this vision took place. She's been working hard as we develop presentations for the governor's office, for the city council, and for various different entities about what we wanted to do and what we wanted to accomplish with this. But it's Tania and my other daughters and the people within our company that have inspired Shelley and I to make this investment, to move forward and develop this corner of property here. But to Tania, I love you. Thank you. Last of all, I'd like to extend a special thanks to my wife, Shelley. You know, she's kind of been with, stand up right here, Shelley, you're right. We're partners in life and in marriage and in business, and it takes an incredible woman that can stand by a man like me and actually run a business together. We go into work day in and day out, and have done so for a long time. You know, sometimes people say that, and I've got this old quote I used to use, it's out of one of my favorite books, that when you own your own business, you've achieved something. You're standing on top of a mountain and waving a flag of victory. But the truth is you're clinging to the cliff on the side of that mountain, and you're butt naked, and it's cold, and you're hanging on for dear life. And without showing you, I can attest that both Shelley and I have frostbitten bum cheeks. But oftentimes that's what it takes in getting a small business up and running. It's work and effort, and it's pulling great people and gathering them around you to make it happen. And though it's cold, we couldn't move on to the program without asking a few people to speak. And so we've asked Ryan Paul. He is the director of the Frontier Homestead State Park Museum. And from what I understand, he is a master historian of the area and of the things that have taken place in Cedar City and what makes this building so significant. Then following Ryan, we'll hear from Danny Stewart, the Economic Development Director for Cedar City Corporation. And then after Danny, I'll say a few words, and then we'll get back outside to where it's warm again for the groundbreaking. Thank you. Brian.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, the eagle has landed. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak for a few minutes today. I looked at the agenda and realized I'm a big fan of the Rat Pack, and I realized that in this group I'm the Joey Bishop. I'm the guy that starts. I don't have the coolness of the Frank Sinatra or the Dean Martin of Jeff and Danny, so I'll tell a few jokes and keep my pants on and we'll all be okay, right? Gravitas is what we have here today. As a historian, I spend lots of time reading and researching and teaching history at the university, and I've come to the conclusion that there's moments in our time that we call page turns. I don't know if you remember Paul Harvey. He was a great radio host, and he would always in his show give some kind of words of wisdom, and then he'd say, page 2, and he'd talk about a different topic, and page 3. And I think American history, at least, and I'm sure others do as well, have that same idea. That we don't know, we really can't understand what America was like before the Constitution. Page turn. America before the Civil War and after the Civil War was different. Page turn. America before, during the Great Depression and the New Deal is completely different. Page turn than it is after, than it is today. And I think Cedar City in Iron County has some page turns as well. And one of the most most significant is in 1923. That is a huge page turn for us. And in 1923, that is when the railroad comes to town. And it does two main things. First, it takes tons and tons and tons of iron ore out of this area every day. We still have today the second largest deposit of iron ore in the country, just west of us. And for many years, that ore now was able to ship up to Provo and other places, and it made Iron County the richest county in the state of Utah for decades, which is an amazing thing to think about if you wrap your mind around that. And the second thing it did, it brought people here. First, the train brought the movie folks who took our area, the beautiful landscapes that we have, and gave them to the world. Imagined a new beginning, a new world that no one had ever seen before, really, through the Hollywood movies. But even more importantly, the trains brought people to see iron, but not in the mines. They wanted to see it rusting on the mountain, right? The beautiful red rock that we have up here. And in 1923, that was done by Union Pacific. They came in, created an entity called the Utah Parks Company that took people from Zion to Bryce to Cedar Breaks to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And for 50 years, thousands and thousands and thousands of people came to this area. And what the Utah Parks Company did, and the trains did, is further anchor tourism as a part of our economy, which it still is today. I mean, tourism is a huge generator of our revenue in this area. And so people ate here, they slept here, they bought tchotchkes here, they bought gas here. Everything they did was because of 1923 and the trains coming in and the memories that they took back. I mean, these are the days before the internet and before even colored pictures. And the Utah Parks Company promotional brochures would say things like, we can't even begin to describe what you'll see because words fail us. It would be disrespectful to even try to describe it in words. You have to come see these things for yourself. And people came and did that. People worked here, wrote letters. In fact, this picture here on the top that they've got beautifully blown up, that is the very first buses that came into Cedar City in 1923. We have this picture in the museum. It's about yay big, about like that. But what's interesting is, on the back of the photo is a letter. The guy who worked for the Utah Parks Company wrote a letter to his parents about how wonderful this place was on the back of that photograph and rolled it up in a tube and mailed it to them. And it ended up back with us. But it's not just the workers, but it's all of the tourists and everyone that came and eventually lived in this community. That's how inspiring the Utah Parks Company was. They anchored the downtown. They built the L.S. Kalani Hotel. They built the railroad depot. They built the machine shop, which is where Century is now. They built the commissary. They built the chauffeur's lodge. And they had a whole infrastructure in this area right down in this park. Now, many of those buildings are no longer with us. And for me as a historian, that's a tragedy. For the last decade, we've taken people on historic tours of Main Street, showing them images of the buildings that no longer exist. And it's interesting to see their thoughts and their faces about why these buildings are torn down. This building, the bus garage, this was one that I thought for sure was going to go. And it was devastating to me and other members of the local historical community. This is the building really where the magic happened. Those people coming in on the trains, they're not going to walk to Zion. They're not going to walk to Cedar Breaks. It's the buses that moved them. It's the buses that showed them the things that they could believe and imagination that they could see. It's like that scene from the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka movie. Remember where all the kids go into the candy factory room? I mean, that's exactly how people felt. We read letters and people just cannot describe what they see, and it's all because of what happened in this building. This is the transportation hub. And what excites me today is that this building will again be a hub for imagination and creativity. They're not producing buses, at least not in, maybe they are, I don't know. But they're producing things that once again will make our community seen across the world. The work that's done here, the creative work and the intellectual work is amazing to me. And it will be shown again. People will again see what we can do here. Now, I am humbled as a historian and as a curator to be in this space, to think about the stories that those buses could tell or the people that worked here could tell. Not many of them are around anymore. They're rapidly, as time goes out. But as a citizen of this community, I am eternally grateful for Jeff and Rainbow Sign for doing what they did, for taking a building that without them, I am convinced would be gone, and taking a big part of our history and bringing some stuff down here. Now, there is a lot of cool stuff just a little further north of us here, Frontier Homestead. But this will continue that link. This will add to our walking tours. It will add to the story of who we are. Because I am convinced, after years of studying history, that story matters. That everyone's story deserves to be told, including this building. And I am grateful that Jeff and his company and his team are doing that. Thank you very much.
Of what a remarkable place this is. This is really humbling and really exciting to be here today. I'm Danny Stewart. I'm Director of Economic Development for Cedar City, Iron County. And I can't even begin to explain how exciting this day is today and how we've looked forward to this for a long time. I'm going to ask, just by the show of hands, when you came in today, how many of you had heard of the business Decorworx today? Okay, excellent. A year ago, how many of you had heard of the business Decorworx? A few less, but some of you still, and that's excellent. This company has been in Cedar City as Rainbow Sign and Banner, Rainbow Sign and Design for 20 years, as we've talked about. And most residents of Cedar City know Rainbow Sign and Banner, Rainbow Sign and Design, but really, most people who know about Decorworx are right here. You're either employees or you know someone, or for the community at large, Rainbow Sign and Design is the company that everyone knows. Decorworx is, oh yeah, I kind of maybe heard a little something about that. And that's where I was just a little over a year ago. I'd heard a little bit about what was going on at this company that was beyond the boundaries of Cedar City. But then I learned very quickly that there are a lot of people outside of Cedar City who know Decorworx very, very well. And this is a company that is renowned across the country for the work that it has done. It has won national awards. It's turned heads from coast to coast of the type of work that they've put out. If you've seen the Harmon's building at City Creek in Salt Lake City, or the new one in Washington County, that'll give you an amazing glimpse of the work that goes on here. For those who don't really pay much attention to interior design of retail spaces and supermarkets in particular, you might not appreciate the artistry and the craftsmanship that happens at this company and how truly unique it is and what really sets them apart. But as I said, other people had heard about this and understood this better than most residents of the community. It was about a year ago when I talked to Sean Lorby, who is doing some work with Jeff and Shelley, and who let me know that this company was doing some amazing things in different parts of the country, and their association with grocers associations across the country was becoming renowned, and there were other states and other places that desperately wanted Decorworx to belong in their communities for the things that they could bring. And they had a lot of things that they could offer. They had central locations. They had a lot of very aggressive incentives, and it was very attractive to look at these other places. And that's when Sean called me and said, let's see what Cedar City and the state of Utah can do for this company that really should stay here. And with the help of our associates at Governor's Office of Economic Development and the Economic Development Corporation of Utah, we immediately recognized what a gem this company is and how important it is not only to Cedar City but to the entire state and rural Utah. In economic development, really at the end of the day it comes down to creation of new jobs and new primary jobs that can help communities grow. And a lot of people think of economic development as going out and recruiting other companies to a community, and that's part of what we do. But there's something very special and very rewarding about local business expansion and retention, and to see companies that are within your community succeeding to the point that they need to expand, succeeding to the point that others want to recruit them away from us. It was important for us as a community to recognize that, and as I mentioned, GoEd and EDC Utah, they recognized that instantly, and they were very instrumental in helping to secure some incentives and to help what's beginning today change the face of Cedar City, to create new jobs, to renovate and grow our historic downtown in amazing ways. As Ryan said, I think a lot of us expected this building to go down for years. And there have been plenty of offers to property owners to take this down and put something new here. But to have Jeff and his company and their vision to renovate this building and what it will do to the face of Cedar City is huge, and it's incredible, and we couldn't be more excited as a community to see this happen. Long time ago, when I first heard about Cedar City hiring an economic development director, the reasons that I heard back then was Cedar City raises too many kids, educates them, and sends them away. And that's true with a lot of rural Utah. And in a sense, that's what could have happened with this fine company. They started here from scratch, they grew up, they became renowned, and they had the opportunity to move away and find fame. The Office of Economic Development was created to create opportunities for those students who want to stay in Cedar City, who want to raise their families here. And I think it's equally important that we look at Rainbow Sign and Design. Decorworx is one of our kids that's grown up here, and we want them to be able to have the opportunity to stay here. And by doing so, they'll provide opportunity for our students in our school district, in our Applied Technology College at the university, to have some really wonderful career opportunities with Rainbow Sign and Design and Decorworx. We've talked about 160 new jobs. We have a significant investment in this property, and in my position, there's nothing better. This is my early Christmas to being here today, and I'm so pleased I can share this with you today. Ryan talked about the history here, and it touches a lot of you who are in here. My father-in-law, who I never met, was a bus driver out of here and helped take people up to the parks. And some of the few things I know about him, this is one of the things that was very important and special to him. And I think he and many other people who have been involved in this building would be so thrilled to see what's happening here today as we are. Jeff, we're so excited as a city to welcome company to this part of Main Street. We're grateful to have you here. Thank you.
When we first started our business, I had teamed up with our sister company, Rainbow Sign and Banner down in St. George. When I say sister company, I mean it literally. It's my sister's company, and her husband Steve, and they were great partners and helped us integrate from Salt Lake and come into Cedar City. When we did that, if I get him to stand, I guess she's already standing. My oldest daughter was 6, Tania, and then Chartice, my middle daughter, she was 3, and then Shayna was a newborn. So you can kind of see, thank you girls, that we've been around for a little while as they've grown up and have grown to love Cedar City. And that was a great thing that we wanted to have and moving down to this part of the state and then of the country, where there's culture, where there's creativity, where there's so much more than combat fishing when you want to go out into the outdoors. And so we're thrilled about the opportunity to come down into Cedar City and build something. Now, some of you may or may not know what we do. What we do as a company is we design. We design. We create. We inspire. Locally, as Danny's mentioned, we're known as Rainbow Sign and Banner. Nationally, we're known as Decorworx. If you want to see some of our work, take a stroll over through the new Beverly Center and look around, and you'll see our work. Or go over to Lynn's and walk through it. Well, wait a couple weeks and go through Lynn's and walk through it, and you'll see some of our work. But that's the type of things we do across the nation. We have jobs in Maine, we have jobs in New York, Boston, the Caribbean, which is sounding pretty good right now. We're spreading down there into the Bahamas as well as up in Oregon and Washington. And when Danny mentioned that there was an opportunity, or we were looking outside the area, we seriously were. We had some of our regional partners that were inviting us to come out, particularly Baton Rouge and Louisiana, to have us come and relocate and have our facility in the central part of the country. And we had to go through that process and that decision making and decide what do we want to do. It was a good invitation. It was local to where we were going and some of the things that we were wanting to do. But as we sat down and worked with the governor's office and with local city officials and things like that, we were able to work through the process of staying here in Cedar City. And, you know, it really made me sit back and reflect back to why we came down here. And I don't know how many of you can appreciate the fact that we have such beautiful national parks and that we have such beautiful landscapes and scenery that we enjoy. And we feel that that's part of what inspires us as a company, is you just have to step outside to be inspired by God's creations. And that is implemented into our designs and into our craftsmen. See, we just don't have designers and engineers. We have creative people. We have craftsmen that work within our company. And so our desire here is to create a facility that will be state-of-the-art, as well as tying in history and bringing that into the future. So to kind of quickly talk through a few things, I know you've seen a lot of the pictures and a lot of the things that we want to do, but we want to really embrace this technical age that's coming. As we approach things, you know, I've got an iPad in my hand, and I really feel like this is the future of where technology is going. So as we build our building, it's going to be completely wireless. And I just see these computers getting bigger this way, and I see them getting bigger this way. And so as we've designed this facility, we've designed it to make it comfortable, to make it creative, to make it something that when our people are working, that they want to be here. So Tanya, if you can help me out a little bit, there's an image right over here. If you could grab this one for me. Great, thank you. You can see we've got two buildings. Here's our historic building, and then we're building a 23,000 fabrication facility to the side. But in between these two buildings, we went out here and we were looking at this, and we looked at the concrete. And this building was made in 1923. Take a look at the ground around you. Is there any cracks? Is there any chips? This concrete is solid. It's beautiful. The bricks are fired brick. The ground is strong. Look at these beams and these trusses. I remember when I brought the structural engineer in, he pointed out, he said, this is beautiful. He said, look how thick the bolts and the nuts are that come down in the center and how they thin as they go across the truss. And how the wood thickens on the, how they're thin in the middle and how they get thicker on the outside and how the wood gets thicker. And he said, you know, you just can't afford to build a building like this anymore. I don't know if you've noticed, but the walls are over 12 inches thick, the brick. And as they go into the purlins on the side that hold the trusses, they jump out to 18 inches thick. So there's just some remarkable things that when they built the building back in 1923 that we just had to keep. And one of them is this drive, this path off to the side that's right here. We're going to keep that and create a courtyard between the two buildings. And our work environment is going to flow between the two buildings to the outside area. Again, where people can go outside and work, sit down in a comfortable spot. Where we're standing, there's some big wood planks underneath us. And within those wood planks is where they used to, I say the grease monkey, I'm not quite sure, but that's where they used to change the oil and make some of the changes or work on the buses as they came in. We're pulling out these planks, and with these big windows here, we're going to make them clear, and we're going to be planting trees. Trees inside the building as they come up, and Tania is going to get her wish. We're building a mezzanine at a second level here, and we're having a slide that comes down in between the trees. And a comfortable area, but as we go through this overhead door, this will combine these two facilities. The facility over here to the west, we're going to be putting an exercise facility, and we're going to be putting showers. And I keep saying I want to put a movie room in. My wife rolls her eyes and says, when is anybody going to work But the point of what we're trying to accomplish here is that we want to embrace the future, and the future is creating an environmentally friendly place for people to be, where they can feel comfortable. As you see some of the drawings with the building, as you will enter in on the north side, it'll all be open to these trusses. We'll come down partway here and extend this piece out to create, they'll basically be conference rooms. And then everything else is mobile as it runs around the outside perimeter to where people can interact on a comfortable basis. Everything's modular. We'll have power. The way it comes down will be in such a way that it won't be intrusive to the eye. It'll come down and join in, but it's mobile. As we grow and as we create this inviting environment, it'll be a great place for people to come and be inspired, and that's our desire. And then we want to add to the historical factor of this building and everything that's in it. And we'll be having, as you come into the front, some historical photos. We're doing our best to gather up some historical items that we'll be putting in it, as well as we're going to be taking railroad ties and the rails themselves and converting them into furniture that we'll be bringing inside the building, and really grabbing the historical nature and restoring this building to its original look and its original feel that it was created for back in 1923. Just making sure I've got everything here. Again, we're excited about it. We want to make this a facility for Cedar City. We want to make it state-of-the-art, and we want to make it something that everyone can come and participate in. As they walk up the street, you know, I want to call him Brother Carton, but giving me some ideas about, you know, we need to put some signs out front to tie people in to the mechanic shop, to the bus garage, and to the depot up the street, so that we can help recognize this building and what it is, and for the history and historical factor. And that's what we're trying to reclaim. That's what we're trying to build. And not that we're trying to, but we will have. And you'll see magic and creativity, because this is what we do. We take and refurbish buildings, we remodel them, we make them look fantastic. Our company's received over 15 awards in the last 4 years for our design and for our reconstruction abilities. And so as we come along, as you drive by, keep up to date. We're hoping that by late spring, early summer, the facility will be open. We'll be opening it up to the public, everybody to come and see, but that's our vision. And we thank you for coming out and participating in this groundbreaking. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to recognize that we're going to, Tania, are we going to go out here or out here? We want to do this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this overhead door in a moment. Don't open it yet. And then, but watch out, there may be some ice that's coming off the roof. So walk out into the sun if you would. Just walk straight out, down where the courtyard will be. And then right along here, and you'll see we've got a piece of ground covering carpet set up where the ground breaking ceremony will take place. We've asked James Dixon from the Governor's Office to participate in that, Mayor Wilson to participate in that, Chris McCormick from the Chamber, Representative John Westwood, Danny Stewart, and myself. And so we'll do the first groundbreaking, but we would like everybody to participate. We're going to have a camera set up out there. We're going to have opportunities. We'd like people to step up and join in the groundbreaking and have some photos taken, and we'll share those throughout the community in this process. But again, thank you for coming, and then right up this door this way. Thank you.